Welcome back to our introduction of human anatomy here. The last video was pretty short. We talked about all the structure of life, what makes up an organism. Hopefully you've been studying that. We also talked about all the different organ systems that make up the organism, so you need to memorize those as well. Today what we're going to look at, another little short video, we're going to look at directional terms. In human anatomy, we have to all be on the same language. We have to be talking the same thing. This is a medical language as well. A lot of you might be taking some type of a medical-related career. You might have to take medical terminology, so this is a good start on that. These are all directional terms. So we're obviously going to have these on the next test, but let me tell you in advance that when we get done, we're going to have an assignment on Moodle. And when we get done with this, going over these terms, then you will submit, you will use all of these terms in a sentence in human A&P content. So that being said, you might even want to watch this video once or twice to make sure you've got them. That's the beauty of recording these, is you can stop, you can pause them, you can watch it several times, especially the short ones, you can watch it several times, and it really helps you study and know the terms. So in this case, in the directional terms, let's start out with superior. Superior means above, okay? Superior means above. So the lungs, okay, the lungs are superior to the heart. They're above. Now, inferior means below. Inferior means below. My kneecap, which we'll study later, the patella is inferior to the pelvis or the hip. So once again, when we talk about these terms, these are all directional terms. Above, below, same size, the middle, outside. So as we begin to describe these, it's kind of cool because we'll do some case studies later, and we will describe to you some actual medical terminology, and we'll say the person has whatever the terms are. So in this case, the two corresponding terms are superior and inferior. Superior means above, inferior means below. Now, it's really interesting because a lot of your science words come from Latin. And the Latin word superior means above. And so this is where we talk about somebody is superior to somebody else. It just means they're above. So in this case, it begins to mean above in economic status or above in athletic ability. So the word superior, once again, meaning above, inferior, below. Anterior also corresponds with the word ventral, okay? Anterior or ventral. This is towards the front. This is towards the front. Now, when we look at these terms, we have to say to ourselves, is a person standing? Is a person lying? So, for example, if you're a medical doctor and you're doing these terms, and we look at this and we have to say, okay, is this an anterior or ventral situation? Is it towards the front? Is it towards the front? So once again, we have two corresponding terms, anterior and ventral. Ventral is towards the front. Posterior or dorsal is towards the back. Sometimes we call our rear end the posterior because it's in the back side of our body. Okay, so once again, so I don't want to see the same, you're going to write these up in sentences, so I'm trying to make little simple ones. I don't want to see these same examples end up on the terms, okay? But so I use some real easy and ones that maybe you won't come up with, but the nose is anterior. The nose is anterior. Now, I'm not going to say that your gluteus maximus is on the posterior. I'm going to let you use that in your actual nose, but that's it, the posterior. But there's a lot of things that are posterior. The heel, okay, the heel or the Achilles tendon that we talked about that goes around the heel is posterior to the foot, or later on as we learn the bones, it's posterior to the metatarsals. Okay, so once again, posterior is towards the back, anterior is towards the front. Medial means middle. Okay, medial means middle. The nose is medial to the eyes. Okay, so we learn also that the heart is very medial. Now, one of the things we find out is that in Homo sapiens and in humans, it's incredible because we are directly proportional. Okay, we are exactly chiral. We are symmetrical. If you were to put a line right down us and put this line all the way through us, you could take a mirror and hold a mirror here, and even our mouth, and even our nose, and even our eyes would be identical. So we could take a mirror, it would look kind of freaky, but it would be really neat. We could take a mirror right here, and you would see the same thing here. So if everything's in line, we are completely what we call medial, meaning that we can have a middle that separates us. Chiral means it can separate right down the middle. Okay, symmetrical means that we're exactly the same in all directions. So we are medial creatures. We are medial creatures. So the middle. So once again, the example I use there, the nose is medial to the eyes. Lateral means away from. All right. So if you've ever played football, we might do a lateral where we throw the ball away from. Okay, but a lateral means away from the midline. So as I begin to look at this, my hands are lateral to my heart. And that's significant when we talk about the circulatory system, because everything that's lateral has to travel from the midline. Well, that's pretty ironic in that what's midline? Our brain is midline and our heart is midline. So there's a lot of things that have to travel laterally. Then we have isolateral, okay? Ipsilateral, I-P-S-I-L-A-T-E-R-A-L. Ipsilateral means same side of the body. Oh, okay. So I may have something that's ipsilateral that's on the same side of the body. Oh, well, what if I'm a cardiologist and I'm looking at clots and I find that I have two clots that are ipsilateral, okay, meaning they're on the same side of the body. Oh, well, maybe I have something happening in one part of the heart that's sending particular blood to that part of the deal. So once again, ipsilateral, same side of the body. And obviously, when I look at, of course, when I use the right term, directional, but here we are, we're ipsilateral with this right leg and this right hand. All this is ipsilateral. Now, we also look at this in that when somebody has a stroke, we say they have ipsilateral parallelism, okay? Which means one side is paralyzed, which means the opposite side of the brain then did not send the circulatory system and the nervous system to that side of the body, so we have ipsilateral paralysis. So once again, ipsilateral, same side of the body. Then we have contralateral, opposite sides of the body, okay? So if we say something is contralateral, okay, it means that it's opposite sides of the body, but it's the same. It's lateral. It once again, lateral away from the middle. Here we go. But contralateral means opposite sides of the body. Intermediate is between two structures. It's intermediate. Okay. Once again, we look at this. My kneecap or my patella is intermedial. It is between what two things? Well, it's actually between my tibia and my fibula and my femur. Okay, it's between, intermediate means between two structures. Proximal means close to, all right? Proximal means close to. My ears are proximal to my brain. They're close to my brain. They're not proximal to my toes. As a matter of fact, the next term, distal, which is the Latin word that we get our word distance from, okay? And actually, this is a Latin word that we get our American word proximity, meaning close to, and distance is where we get from the Latin word distal, okay? Distal means away from. Yeah, so once again, my ears are distal, okay, from my toes. All right, so we have two corresponding terms, proximal and distal. Proximal, close to, distal, away from. Then we have superficial toward the surface. If we go into the hospital, we say we have a superficial cut, then that's really close to the surface. That hasn't gone IM or into the muscle, okay? So superior means towards the surface. Deep means away from the surface. We have a deep cut. Oh, this is way below the surface, okay? So we look at this and we say, where is our heart in terms of this? Well, our heart is deep. It's way below the surface, okay? Now, our skin, our epidermis, okay, is the exact skin, and then right below the epidermis is the dermis. So both the dermis and the epidermis is superficial, it's towards the surface. So that's the main set of words. There's some other words that we use, but this is what we call the core group of directional terms. Now, you will be responsible for all those terms and you'll use them throughout this entire course. As a matter of fact, what's really nice is it's kind of like speaking a foreign language. The more you use them, the better you get. And so once you find yourself saying, hey, yeah, that's over there, oh, then you'll find the term, oh, that's proximal to this, or that's close to this, or that's distal, that's away, or that's superior, that's inferior, that's lateral, that's medial. And you'll find yourself using these terms over and over. Now, once again, your assignment to get this going, on Moodle, okay, on the same Moodle that you're on for the course, you will just write all of these. You write a sentence using anatomy terms, okay? You will write a sentence for all of these, just showing me that you understand them. Now, you can also go to your book and review these. They're in your book as well, and you can go back through. I want you to be creative on your sentences. I don't want to see the same sentences that are in your book, so I want you to be creative on these so that I know that you understand the terms. So you're going to put the terms in A and P content and tell me exactly where these terms, and use it in a sentence. You will submit these. When you submit, put your name, put the date and time that you're submitting, and then your location. Now, we kind of forget, you know, wherever you're at. I mean, this is a great course. We teach this course for college students all over the place. As a matter of fact, we have college students right now taking this class in Afghanistan. Isn't that really neat? I have a special ops guy that's taking this in Afghanistan. So to you, I say hi and keep up the good work. Wherever you're at, it's just the beauty of online. This could be anywhere around the world. So put your name, your date, your time, and the location. And once again, this is due by the end of the week. So I want you to submit this, and we'll make it by Saturday at midnight for this week. Now, once again, be sure you're following at the beginning of each week when I give you statements of what we're doing for the week, so we make sure we get everything done. So once again, directional terms. So and now that we've kind of got that completed, I'll see you for the next video.